Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Extraordinary Drummer Show. My guest today truly is a legend. I mean, what more can you say? And I'm awesome. I'm elated. I'm happy to have him on the show. I remember running into him at NAMM, and I said, would you be on the show? And he said, sure, I would. My dear guest today has worked with Johnny Taylor, just to give you a few names. All of my favorites, by the way. Bobby Blue Bland, Albert King, Etta James, ZZ Hill, Buddy Guy. But his main gig, his gig that we all know and love him for many, many years. And we're going to find out how many years was the icon, B.B. King. Would you help me welcome today to Extraordinary Drummer Show, Tony Coleman. Hey, Tony. Hey, buddy. Wow. Hey, Tony, if I get anything on me from you, it's going to be them drums, boy, and that big old heart you have, man. What was it like working with some of these people? What was it like working with Johnny Taylor? I hear he was something else.
The fun.
JT.
Johnny Taylor was fun, man. Johnny Taylor was sharp. Johnny Taylor was a nice-looking cat, man. Johnny Taylor was suave. Johnny Taylor was a ladies' man on that stage. The women loved it. That was the party gig, man. That was.
What was it like working with Bobby Blue Bland?
Bobby Blue Bland. That was a squall. People be like, "Why is that?" That's when he got older. He couldn't go. Wallad! That was a squall. He got that from Aretha Franklin's dad, Reverend Franklin, C.L. Franklin,
Really?
when he preached. See, people don't know. That's from preaching. Lord, with Jesus, wow! You know, that's what black people do. We get in feeling, man, feeling. Wow, Jesus, wow! So Bobby sang the blues smooth as silk, but he squall and growl. Lord, that was his trademark.
I'm
Hmm?
really glad you told me that. I didn't know that. I thought that was just, how he would dig down and grab it. But that came from Aretha Franklin's father, huh?
Yeah, Mr. C.L. Franklin, Reverend C.L. Franklin. That's what he
Wow.
preached. Like most old black preachers preach, that's what Blue picked that up. But Blue was the best. That was my second dad for real.
Wow.
I love him. He was in his band. We would kick anybody's. That band was a band.
What was it like working with Etta James?
Etta James, playing with Etta, that was my friend. She was my friend. She didn't take no shit. And she called me cornbread. And I only played with her a couple of times when she was come out and sit in with BB, but I never toured in her band, but I played with her on different shows and stuff of that nature. But that was my friend. She was the bomb. She didn't mince words. She say how she felt, and she was soulful. She could blow the chrome off of the microphone. Etta James, there is no vocalist, female or male, that could sing as powerful as Etta James. And she talks.
Tony, you said she could sing the chrome off the microphone.
Wow! She clipped the
I got
monitor.
another one for you here. Albert King. I heard
Albert King carried a pistol. Albert King will hit you upside the head with his pistol. Woo! That's for real. He has done it. He has knocked musicians out who get in his face. Albert King was mean. He was the meanest blues man alive. Now Albert King his licks were simple, but they would cut you like a rusty razor. Albert, boy, he played with feeling, boy. Albert, that's the only man that made B.B. King play his guitar.
Wow.
For real.
Wow.
He was mean, and then he come on stage. He was a good guy, but I mean, you just don't mess with Albert King. Right. You got a problem. You be nuts. Don't challenge Albert now. Shit talking I do with BB, I would never do with Albert a little bit, but I never did have any training, any any teaching. I learned on my own. The first gig I got was with a disc jockey who used to be who used to do shows, and he would be in town, in different towns, doing, back then they called it record hops, you know, where everybody come and he played records, and he was the local DJ disc jockey. He was a celebrity in town, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, he had a drummer that would play with him while he spun the records, and the drummer would play with the records, and then between, every now and again, he'd say, let's give the drummer some, you know, like what James Brown would do, where the drums play and the people dance to his beat. So the disc jockey would stop the music and he'd play a dance groove, you know, like boom, and people be dancing, you know, and clapping their hands and stuff. And then my friend asked him, his name was Rudy Agogo. They said, hey, Rudy, well, our friend Tony can play drums as good as him. Can he sit in? He goes, nah, get away from here. No. Then one day I was in my backyard practicing, and he had a girlfriend in my town, and she brought him back in the backyard to see me practicing. And he was like, oh my God, he can play. And since I was a young kid, I was like 16, I mean, this guy was like drinking, smoking, you know, just acting a fool. And then he fired him and hired me, and told my grandmother, you know, I'd like him to go on and play with me, you know, the drums. And so he'd be on the radio, Rudy Go from Bartow with funky drummer Tony Coleman. I was like, yeah, I was like a little star with him, you know, because back then radio was like, a disc jockey was like a movie star, you know. So there was this band in town. It was like a James Brown review type band called Bobby Williams and the Marquings. And they had 2 drummers, 2 guitar players, bass player, a B3 player, a pianist, a keyboard player with moog and clavinet, had 6 horns, it was a big band. And I used to bug the man when I was a kid, and I'd always go to their rehearsals, say, can I sit in? And they go, yeah, we'll let you sit in. And they never would. And I just keep coming around, watching them, bugging them, and they see me coming, they'd be like, damn, he ain't come again, let's go. And then one day when I was with Rudy doing my gig, the manager from Bobby Williams and the Marquings came to the gig and said, Randy Warren, who was the rhythm section leader, the other drummer, he had 2 drummers, he said, they want you to come and join the band. We're going to come by your house Monday and pick you up in your drums. So Randy Warren was like my hero.
Tony, take me back to not when you got started with BB, but your first big gig. I read somewhere that Otis Clay was a big inspiration and kind of helped to get some things started there.
Yeah, well, when I got out of the military, I was in the Army. When I got out of the Army, I had a band in the Army I put together, me and this guitar player and stuff, and we put a band together, and it was just he and I. We used to jam, just the 2 of us. We didn't have a bass player. We didn't have a band yet, and finally we kept going through bass players because we'd be yelling and screaming at them and say, man, come on, you're not playing with the damn. They said, screw you guys, you know. And then finally we got a bass player, then we got us a keyboard player, and we got the band together, and it was called Solid Funk. So we had our band, we had like a 6-piece band, 2 horns, rhythm section, you know, we were all doing whatever the current music was, of course. And then we all got out of the military and went to our different homes, you know, Kansas, Florida, me in Florida, Chicago, Indianapolis, New York. So after I got out of the military, I was going to go to school for commercial art, to be a commercial artist. And then I had a job at Disney World wearing a bird suit. So then we were talking to my friends about meeting in Chicago. One of the sax player lived in Chicago. He said, we should come to Chicago and put the band together and be successful. And we were like, yeah, man, we're going to be the next Earth, Wind and Fire, man. So we all moved to Chicago. And of course we got there and we did the struggling thing. We were like the Blues Brothers, you know, living in the car, all of that stuff. And then there's this family, the sax player's wife's family let us live in their basement. and there was like 7 sisters, and the 2 of us, me and the bass player. So we were like, be cool. And all of them sung. And one of the older ones, she was singing with Otis Clay and was going to have a rehearsal. And we said, hey, can we go to the rehearsal? She said, sure. So when we get to the rehearsal, the guitarist was there. Otis had just fired his band, and he only had the guitarist, and he was waiting for another band. And he said, got to get a rhythm section. And she said, well, they play bass and drums, my cousins. That's what she called us. And he said, oh, yeah. And we said, yeah. He said, you got equipment? Yeah. So we went back, got the equipment set up. It was the rhythm section, and we ended up being his rhythm section. And then he started touring. We started touring with him. We went to Japan, and we recorded a live album, Otis Clay Live. So Otis Clay was the first really professional, well-known artist at the time that we worked with. So we'd be on all the concerts in Chicago, at the club called Burning Spear, the High Chaparral, AKA Burning Spear, and all the bands that come through, Johnny Taylor, Bobby Blue Bland, B.B. King, Albert King, Betty Wright, God rest her soul, she passed, Miss Betty Wright, everybody, you know, the Dramatics, Tyrone Davis, everybody played there. And we were like hanging and getting to know everybody as Otis Clay's rhythm section. And we did this tour called the International Blues Tour, which had B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, Albert King, Little Milton, Otis Clay, O.V. Wright, Betty Wright, you know, all these people. And at the end of the tour, the promoter from Chicago ended the tour in Chicago. After we did the show downtown at the Auditorium Theater in Chicago, we had an after party at his club, and they wanted the band to jam and have a jam session party, you know. And when we got there, it was late, and the house band at the time said, we're done. And the promoter said, hey, could you just play like another hour? They said, nah, you play us, we'll do it. He's like, come on, guys, come on. He said, mm-mm. He said, we got all those artists. They said, we don't give a damn. We've been here all night. If you're going to have to pay us. And I knew him. He just passed, too. He just passed. It was a Scott Brothers world named Walter Scott, guitar player. And so I said, Walter, can we use your equipment? He's like, Tony, man, you know what? You guys getting on my nerves, always doing stuff for free and stuff. What's up with that, man? You know, I said, man, well, we just want to jam. He said, yeah, you can use our gear. So we went up, jam session started. B.B. King came on stage, heard us. The rest is history. He told his band leader. I said, B.B. like us. And the band leader said, hey, B.B. like to see you guys upstairs in the dressing room. So we went up there. And he asked us in front of the whole band that was bitching. He said, how would y'all like to work with B.B. King? And the other musicians was like, oh, damn.
How many years did you work with BB?
About 32, but I didn't work with him constantly. I was in and out of his band. He fired me 5 times.
Tony, 5 times?
See, my father was King Coleman. My dad created the dance The Mashed Potatoes with James Brown. He was a disc jockey at the Apollo, a disc jockey and a MC at the Apollo Theater in New York. So he introduced a lot of the Southern acts to the Apollo. He introduced Otis Redding to the Apollo, Rufus Thomas. You know, he worked at the Apollo and he was the MC, you know, and that's the, you know, in case people think it's like a rap MC. No, the MC, master of ceremony at gigs, is the guy that introduced the band and talked to the audience before the band plays. You know, that's what the MC is. You know, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so look here, blah, 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 talking a little trash. You know, he was always the guy. So he knew everybody, and BB was his friend. So when BB found out that his friend's son was in his band, he kept his foot on my neck. So, you know, I mean, I'm like a young kid. I'm 24 years old, something. I don't want to listen to B.B. King telling me how to act and what to do and how to be. And, you know, I love music. I'm good at it. And so my attitude was almost, you would say I was cocky because I was confident. I was overconfident to the point that it seemed like I was cocky, which it may have been a little bit, but I wasn't like kissing BB's ass or anything. I was like, hey man, I'm a good ass drummer, you know, and you need me, and I'm not all drunk and playing all raggedy. I'm sharp as a tack, as they say, you know. And so I was, you know, sometimes when you're overly ambitious and confident, you know, people could call that arrogance. I was like Muhammad Ali. I'm a bad man on these drums, man. You know, I knew it too because I practiced at it, and I'm passionate about it, and I want to be on. I'm on point, man. But so anyway, me and BB would have these little conflicts all the time. But he loved me because I was good and I was confident in myself. But BB is from the school of where he came from. He saw black men get hung and castrated and set on fire and murdered, and you know, down in Mississippi. So BB was afraid of white people. You know, he's very, you know, yes, thank you. How are you? You know, very quiet, very humble. Thank you. You know, somebody be rude to BB, he'd be like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Please excuse me. You know, me, I'd be like, you man, get the out of here with that. You know, so BB'd be like, no, Cole, man, you can't do that, son. You got to be quiet, keep your mouth shut, and just, you know, I ain't keeping my mouth shut, man. I ain't no slave. Yeah, man, white man say something to me when I was growing up. My young ass, you hit me, I'm gonna get a brick and knock your head off. That's my idea about it. BB was just Mississippi, born and bred with that. And anyway, I just always had an issue with racism, and I still do today. But anyway, that's another story.
Tell me, in working with BB, I heard that BB King, when he brought you on, he gave you life insurance and luggage, and I heard it was like working for the government.
BB was the most professional person, most committed to his craft in the music business, especially the blues business, than anybody, because BB was focused. He wasn't going to let anything stop him from performing. So he took care of his business as a business. BB wasn't ever, you know, you never saw any pictures of BB doing anything but playing guitar. You never seen BB with women getting drunk and getting high or smoking or snorting. You never saw that with BB King. Anytime you saw BB King, he was always smiling, nice, how you doing, very humble, a giver. And yes, so in his band, you had dental and medical insurance. We were on retainer. We got paid half salary, whether we worked or not. And we stayed at the best hotels when possible. And it was the top gig in the business out of anybody's genre of music. He was a professional about his band, but he was to me like this Michael Jordan thing. You see how Michael Jordan is? BB King was like a Michael Jordan type thing. And you see Scottie Pippen? I was like that. I was like, no, not Pippen. I wasn't timid. I was like Rodman. That's what I was like. I was like the Dennis Rodman of the band without lipstick and girly stuff. But I mean, as far as, you know, I'm going to be me. I'm free spirit. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm playing my ass off. You're not going to tell me how to act. I was like that.
I want to talk a little drum stuff.
Let's talk drum stuff.
You are the master of shuffles. I guess you must know 50 shuffles backwards and forwards, Chicago, Texas, Mississippi, LA, all the different shuffles. Would you talk to the younger drummers, especially the guys, and tell them what is the shuffle and what's the correct way of playing the shuffle?
What the problem I have with these drummers today, first of all, they're in this form of music, they're too busy. Two drummers too busy. You know, you should be playing fusion or something. Blues is supposed to be grooving music like funk and soul. Sure, you can have licks, chops, you know, you can have chops up the ass, you know, all that, you know. But this music, you're supposed to feel it. The drummer got to groove everything like an engine. And everybody that I play with don't like it when you play raggedy and loose. They want it tight and precise, and to hear the definition there. So my whole thing is the double shuffles and stuff. A lot of drummers will maybe play the double ting 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 ting, and the foot usually be boom 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 boom. They'll just play that 4/4 thing, and the left hand or the right hand, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, the snare drum hand, instead of shuffling, you gotta snap that 1, 2, you know, you gotta snap that downbeat, and you gotta hear the shuffle, that what people call ghost notes is going. You can't have that snare drum going pop, pop, pop. That's like if you're playing rock. But if you want to play a shuffle right, everything got to sound and feel like a train going down the track. And I 1, 2, 3. That right there. If you play with the people I play with, they would either shoot you, cut you, or beat your ass. Something. It ain't gonna be good, cause the person out front, even if it's slow, and I talk about this, and people go, man, that's these young, dumb people who don't understand and respect culture. They go, man, that's boring. I just have to sit there and do that, because you want to be seen and you want to be flashy and you want to do all this other, because you think, I'm so cool, man. I got licks. Well, that don't work in the blues. That's why I say the right way. Your job as the drummer is to groove everybody else in the band, man. You are the foundation. You and the bass player are the foundation. Now, some people go, well, I got to do that, man. You know, that's boring. I should be able to do whatever the hell I want to. Well, if you do that, you'll be on the corner playing by your damn self. But your job as a drummer, respect the fact that the drum music and blues is supposed to swing and groove. And those shuffles gotta be clean and precise and grooving. You gotta put that 1 on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I always take, you know, I always make sure when I play the snare, I hit the rim and the drum head to get that 2/4 snap, so you know where the 2 and 4 feel is, you know. But if you just play in the middle of the snare drum, just go to that, 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 to that. You can't really feel that groove.
She's my baby, and I love her just the same. I'm crazy about the baby, and Caledonia is her name. Caledonia, Caledonia, what makes your big head so hard?
we do a thing on the show we call Word of Advice. And what it is we ask the drummers, ask yourself if you would leave a parting word with the up-and-comer drummers, a parting word that they may, you know, get in this business and get some traction going in their career, and kind of the do's and don'ts, if you will, please.
Be versatile. Be versatile. Learn every kind of music you can. Music you don't normally listen to or like. Learn it, study it. Go, if you're playing reggae, go to a reggae beat. Go eat reggae food. Hang out with reggae people. If you're going to play in a country band, drink some beers. Hang out with some country redneck people. If you're going to play a black funk man, hang out with funk people. If you're going to be jazz, hang out with real jazz people. If you're going to be a good drummer, shut your mouth like Buddy Rich told me one time when I was complaining about BB. Keep shut. You don't run nothing. You are hired to do a job and do it the best of your ability, and don't do like me, because I could do it. I could talk shit, say I'm out of here because I didn't care, but today that don't work. But if you want to learn to be the #1 drummer, be versatile, listen, give the artist what they ask for, be accommodating to the artist. It's not your band. When you want to get your own band, then you can do whatever the hell you want. But in the meantime, don't have no opinions. Don't say shit except yes, no, thank you. Other than that, shut the fuck up, get the gig, and be open-minded and stop having an opinion. I can have an opinion. I'm 64 years old. I've been there, done that. I don't. You hire Tony Coleman, hire me. You don't tell me how to play. I don't want to know how to play. Say, I want Tony, you tell me how you want to play this, because that's the kind of gig I want. I ain't playing no more gigs where somebody's telling me, I want you to do this. I ain't shit but what I do. If you don't like what I do, don't call me. Have a good day. I love you.
Tony, you're gonna scare the poor kids to death, Tony.
Well, scare them. Kids, young people, old people. If it's not your gig, keep your mouth, like Buddy Rich told me, keep your mouth shut.
Phew.
Keep your mouth shut. Just be accommodating, be on time, be professional, don't be high. When you're on the stage, you got nothing to think about except this job. And then after that, then have personal feelings and get all into your feelings and shit. Other than that, shut the hell up and play your ass off.
Yeah, get the check and get out of there.
And I don't care what gig is it. If it's 2 people you playing for, play like it's 2 million. If it's 2 million, play like it's 2 million. If it's every time you play, commit to the gig, commit, be ready.
Yeah. Tony, let me tell you, thank you so. I want to do this again. The thing about the Zoom is only gives you 40 minutes of talk time, unless you
no problem.
Fine and stuff. But I definitely want to do it. Will we ever be able to do a part 2 on this?
Sure.
I want to do another one where I actually either come to where you are or we meet somewhere, and I can bring my equipment and we could get this done where we don't have a time.
Let's do it, man.
You know, have a great time. Thank you so much for being on the Extraordinary Drummer Show. What a class act you are,
Thank
man.
you. Everybody be safe and take care of yourself so we can get back to meeting each other again and playing music live and stuff.
Yeah. Help me say goodbye and wave to the audience, if you will.
All right, everybody. TC ya.
God bless. Thank you, my friend.
God bless. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.